Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good. They're usually under the radar. Not many people talk about them. I think that at least you should do your research, try them for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have another update for you, and this is the house of Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is an American designer brand. They've been around for donkey's years, probably more than 50 years. In terms of perfumes, they've been around for more than 40 years. I think, yeah, maybe even longer, maybe around 50 years as well. So their original perfume came out, or fragrance came out in 1978, and that was the original Polo, or these days they call it Polo Green. It's still called Polo, really, but that one was a super hit, massive seller. Even today is selling quite well, although the perfume, the fragrance itself, has been reformulated few times and is not as good as it used to be, but it's still got some characters of those early years of the perfume. And it's still not very cheap to buy. You know, you think after all these years it becomes like 10-20 quid. No, it's still around the 118 ml of it sells around 50-60 pounds on the discount. On the retail I think it's still around 80-90 pounds. So it's still quite a pricey fragrance, and I think it's because it's still in demand. Anyway, so this beauty is one of the many flankers came out during the years. God knows how many flankers they have from this one, or probably about 10 or 20 of them. This one came out late 2023 or early 2024, and is called Ralph Lauren Polo Oud EDP 125ml. Not to be mistaken with Polo Oud Supreme. I think that one it came out about 15 years ago. So that one was quite well received in the community as well. But this one is a new version. So I unboxed it, and for the price I paid, this one retails for £125 in United Kingdom. But you can find a discounter here and there if you do your research. Be patient, Google it and see if it comes up in your country, in your area, and see how much it goes for. I paid less than £80 for it. For that price is very good. So presentation wise, as always with the house of Ralph Lauren, the presentation of the bottle is very nice. It's quite a unique presentation, and I love the polo on the front. It says Oud in here. It's got a sticker in the bottom. The cap is gold, and the bottle shape is still classic and same shape bottle as it came out in 1978, which is very nice. The cap itself is gold, but it is plastic. It's nothing to brag about, and the atomizer is very good. So presentation wise, although it's very nice, but it's on the simple side of things, which we know it's better for us consumers, better for the environment and things like that. Anyway, so in terms of performance, I'm happy to say this is a very good performer. Although it's not a beast mode, it is on my skin went over 8 hours. On my materials like t-shirts went over 10 hours. So it's a very good performer, but it's not a beast mode. It would have been a little bit better if it would have been beast mode, but it is what it is. I can only report what I have in front of me. This one in front of me is actually a first edition of it, because I checked the batch code and it is a 2023 edition. So this is the first edition it came out, and if it was going to macerate, it would have been macerated or maturated by now. Anyway, so on my skin went over 8 hours. T-shirt material goes over 10 hours. Projection wise, an arm length of projection for around 2 to 3 hours, and after that slowly subside. Well, you always have a good bubble, good cloud and a good trail behind you. I put 10 sprays of it, 5 on the skin, 5 on t-shirt, and I could smell it all day beautifully. So you don't need to go more than 10. It is actually quite dense and strong and long lasting. The only thing is, in terms of projection, is not a beast mode again. It sits a little bit closer to the skin. It never goes to skin scent, but it is not super loud. Okay, so it is a little bit closer to the skin after that 2 to 3 hours mark. So again, good performer, but not a beast mode. In terms of the ratio for what I paid and what I get is excellent, because the perfumery in here is beautiful. It retains some of the characters, some of the DNA of the original Polo 1978 in here, which is very nice, especially that aspect of the spicy, incensey, leathery, tobacco-y feel of that original 1978 Polo or Polo Green is still retained in here, although this one is much more modernized. It is up to date. It is quite trendy with today's perfumes, and on the other hand, it is quite crowd pleasing and a people's pleaser as well. So there's nothing challenging in here. There's nothing funky in here. They made it in a way that it appeals to many people. But I think this will appeal to many people who are the fan of the original. So if you are a fan of the original, you will absolutely like this, or you love this. If you're not a fan of original, probably you won't like this, because as I said, like 50% of the DNA of this perfume still is the original Polo 1978. So in terms of occasion, this is very opulent, so it's very good for going out, for evening, for formal occasion, for special occasion, for meeting, greeting, dating, going out and things like that. It's very well done, and it's very opulent, so it's very good for these things. In terms of age, I would say this is 25 and older, to be on the safe side, because although the DNA is modernized and is much more friendlier, but still retain that character of 1978, plus the oud itself and the amber and the rose and things like that, making it a little bit on the mature side. So I would say that mature noses will appreciate this much better. And in terms of season, this is better suited for cooler weather, but at the moment we are in the middle of summer, and I wore it for the last 2 days and I absolutely enjoyed it to the max. So it is versatile all year round. In summer less sprays, in winter more sprays. And in terms of gender, this is quite masculine, but there is nothing in here to making it so masculine that ladies can't wear it. So it is accessible for ladies as well. I say this is unisex, but leaning a little bit masculine. So let's go to the smell of this perfume. The smell of this perfume, as I said in the beginning, it is a 1978 Polo original in here, like 50%. What 50% is on top is the oud, is the rose, is the amber, and basically they added this and the pink pepper. So they added this element to it to modernize it, to making it trendy, to making it up to date, and also to making it quite oudy. So the oud accord in here is quite realistic, although there is no natural oud in here. Obviously for this price point you're not expecting a natural oud. The natural oud, real oud, it will a gram of it will cost you around 200 to 300 pounds. So in this one is an accord, which means they mix so many notes and ingredients together to come up with a smell or impression or feel of oud, which is very apparent in here. So you get that feel of oud, you get the warmth, you get the resin feel, and let's go on medicinal side as well. Not too much, hint of medicinal in here. So this 1978 Polo original had a very big medicinal feel to it, but in here it's toned down, so it's still there, but it's not as big as that one. So let me read you the ingredients and we'll take it from there. So on top we have pink pepper and clary sage, and in the mid we have rose, orange and cinnamon. In the base we have oud, incense, guaiac wood, patchouli and vetiver. Everything in here I get very distinctly, so the note breakdown is very appropriate. There are some other elements which they're not mentioning. For example, there is a tobacco feel in here, tobacco element in here, which they're not mentioning, which I get quite distinctly. And the tobacco in here is quite honey, it's quite sweet, and it's quite leafy, and it's quite pipey. So if you like a little bit of tobacco in here as well, it is there. Little bit of feel of leatheriness in here as well, which is not mentioned in the note breakdown, which I get, which is mainly coming from the notes of saffron, because saffron sometimes give spicy feel, sometimes give leathery feel, and in here give spicy and leathery feel together. But the leather is very soft and is very, very friendly. It's nothing rugged about it, it's not animalic, although overall this perfume has a hint of animalicness in here, very, very small amount, not too much. So the pink pepper opens up with a beautiful pink pepper, which gives it a little bit of berry smell like. So it's like berry, it is peppery, it is champagne-y, it is sparkly, and it's zesty and it's juicy. So it opens up beautiful. The opening of this perfume is 10 out of 10. Beautiful opening. I wish the opening stayed for longer, but after an hour or so you start change. But the change, it won't go towards a bad change, but I love the beginning of this perfume so much. So the pink pepper is beautiful and is giving it that sparkly feel, plus the berry feel, plus the feel of pepper, and also the orange together with the pink pepper, giving it very orange, zesty, very juicy feel to it, which is very, very appealing. The clary sage in here giving it a green aspect. So this is a green, herbal, leafy, grassy aspect, which is mainly coming from the clary sage and also the vetiver in here. The vetiver clary sage here work together very well and giving it that green, grassy, earthy, little bit of that herbal feel to it as well. The rose in here, although is apparent and is quite noticeable, yeah, it is quite noticeable, but it is not a huge player. So they've done a very good job of making the rose mainly another aspect of this fragrance and another facet or another dimension, but it's not taking over. So it's not going to be a rose oud combo typical perfume. For that, it's very, very good perfumery, because rose usually is a very difficult note to work with in perfumery. Either it takes over and it becomes so dominant that everything else is covered, or it completely disappears. So they've done a good act of making it good enough but not taking over in here, which is very, very nice. Cinnamon, yes, I smell cinnamon, I smell nutmeg, and I smell saffron in here, giving it that deep, dense, thick feel of spiciness, which is from 1978 Polo is still in here. So that one was very incensey, very spicy, and also very medicinal, and this one, it retains that character in here as well. So the cinnamon is beautiful in here, very, very nicely done again. So the perfumery in here is very, very high standard. I don't know who is the perfumer behind it, because they is not mentioned, but whoever has done this perfume, they need well done, telling them to be that done a very good job in here, fantastic job, because the perfumery, the balance of the work and everything in here is superbly done. The oud in here, again, very apparent, but it's not barnyard, it's not it's not animalic, it's not funky, very clean oud. And the oud in here mainly giving it that warmth, and the base, and also the gooiness, and also the resinous feel, and also the woody feel. So this perfume is very woody, and more woody. From the beginning to the end is always woody. And the woods in here are quite realistic. So it is like a wood shave, it's like a wood chop, it's like a wood cut. So it's very, very strong smell of wood in here. And that's because the oud and also the Guaiac wood in here, or combination of them, are very, very well done. Plus I'm smelling something like sandalwood in the base as well, giving it even more woody aspect, which is not mentioned in the note breakdown. The incense in here giving it added basically dimension of that deep, dense, spicy, incensey feel, a little bit of smokiness overall to it, not too much. It never goes all fully smoky in this perfume, but it's always there, and it's very, very nicely done. And the patchouli in here giving it that depth. The patchouli and oud in here work very well together. So the patchouli and oud in here giving it that warm, resinous, earthy, chocolatey feel, which is very, very well done in here again. So if you like what I described, and you like the Polo, the original 1978, or you like Polo Green to some extent, today's one. The DNA of this perfume is similar to that, not too much. They change it, you know, like 50% of it is the original, 50% of it what they added as a new fragrance. So it's very, very well done. And if you like this kind of fragrances overall, this is a beautiful fragrance, especially for a price. So very woody, very warm, spicy, especially cinnamon, saffron and nutmeg. Very oudi in the base, but the oud in here is very clean and modernized and is very westernized oud. So it's very appealing oud rather than very, very strong to become, you know, too strong for some people. The rose is quite apparent, but again, it's a nuance rather than a big player in here, but it's quite distinctly there. It's quite smoky, little bit of smokiness, little bit of camphousness, and little bit of balsamic feel to it overall. But again, these are nuances rather than big players. Amber in here is deep, dense, and dark amber. Is gooey, is sticky, is sweet. Is very noticeable dark amber. But overall, this perfume is not too dark. It's medium dark overall. Citrus in the beginning, that orange is beautiful, especially with that pink pepper. Pairs very well and is gorgeous and very juicy in the beginning. The cinnamon and other aspect of spices plus the incense is still there and is giving it a little bit of medicinal feel overall, and a hint of balsamicness, as I said, and a hint of camphousness, leafiness as well, and hint of animalicness, but very, very tiny amount. So if you like what I described, if you like the perfume that is, although it is half of it is still in DNA of 1978 Polo original, but is very, very modernized. So they made it up to date, they made it trendy, they made it oudi. Oud is everywhere these days. Every brand is doing oud for good reason, because when the oud name is there, people become very, very curious how it is. And in here they done a good job, you know, they done a fantastic job. Sometimes when you add oud or other elements to a perfume, it's like it loses its character, it becomes something it shouldn't be. But in here they done a very, very good job. So they retain the DNA of the original perfume, but with added notes and added accords to making it even more interesting, more appealing, more palatable to many other people, rather than the you know, people who follow the original of this perfume very, very strongly. Okay guys, if you have it, if you know it, if you tried it, let us know your experience. That would be useful for others to read. If you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, valuable or entertaining, please don't forget to hit those buttons. This way you help me, encourage me, you motivate me to bring you fragrances like this in future that nobody else is talking about. They're amazing value for money, they smell great, and they are hidden gems, and this beauty is definitely a hidden gem. If you are interested in purchasing one of my own perfumes and get something very, very beautiful in return and support me that way, you could do that as well. I'll leave it in the link, but you need to leave United Kingdom in order to do so. I put more than 60% pure perfume oils in my perfumes, which is unheard of, and that makes them very big and very bold and very, very long lasting, very artistic, very unique, and very, very ancient smell to them, and very, very, it's like they are like time capsule. They take you when you put it on yourself, it takes you to places, it takes you in other times. Very, very interesting and beautiful. As always, I'll leave them in the link as well. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for your love and support, and I'll see you later. Bye.